Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Janeen Detrick, and I wanted to share with you a bit of wisdom from A Course in Miracles. I happen to have been a teacher and a student of A Course in Miracles for about 9 years now, and I love it. It restores me to peace when I need to be restored to peace. That, of course, is the reason I'm sharing this wisdom from A Course in Miracles with you, because it is my intent that everybody in the whole world gets elevated to peace, remembering who they really are. So what I'd like to share with you today is a bit about the teachings from A Course in Miracles related to the subject of sickness. Who amongst us cannot relate to the thought that we as a collective consciousness actually believe in sickness? We believe in it. We almost hold it special. Well, A Course in Miracles teaches us, in fact, that the ego uses the belief in sickness and ultimately the belief in death in order to keep us trapped in the egoic illusion, rather than being elevated above the egoic illusion to remembering who we really are. Now, the fact is, when I teach this, I am in no way teaching that we should be lacking in compassion with those who are sick. In fact, the Course makes it very clear that we are here interjected into this egoic illusion, into this dream. We have interjected ourselves here into this dream only to be truly helpful. And in fact, Jesus Christ, in channeling the material in A Course in Miracles, teaches us that his whole purpose for channeling the Course into and interjecting himself into this egoic illusion, this dream we're all having collectively, and you think you're having it separately. I think I'm having it separately, but the fact is, it's a collective dream that we are having. Jesus Christ says he interjected himself into our dream, both in the physical body when he walked here on planet Earth, in all of his multiple incarnations, according to the Hindu thought processes, as well as according to the incarnation recorded in the New Testament. He interjected himself into our dream in order to be helpful, as a way of lifting us out of the dream. For many of us, when we experience sickness, or as we observe other people experiencing sickness, it's not a dream we're having, it's a nightmare. Watching their illness, watching their recovery process, we have a tendency to get dragged back down to emotional hell in the egoic illusion, this egoic dream, this egoic nightmare, believing in their sickness. What the Course wants us to comprehend is, in fact, the person they really are is not down here in this egoic illusion experiencing sickness. The person they really are is safe in God and always has been. The person they really are is a spirit having a dream that they're sick. Now, the fact is, each individual, because there's really no person here at all, there is no individual, that's part of the egoic illusion of separation. Because what is this egoic illusion? The thought of separation, the thought that we're separate from each other, and therefore we suffer and we think we're alone and we feel alone, and that is all part of the illusion. When in point of actual fact, we're all one. Energetically and spiritually, we're all one. We are all safe in God, and we always have been. So when someone is sick, I want to make it very, very clear that they are not individually believing in that sickness alone. They did not individually create their sickness, because all of us together, the Course teaches us, become saved remembering who we really are, lifted out of the egoic illusion, the dream of separation, lifted out of that, remembering who we really are, remembering our oneness, remembering our wholeness, remembering that we are not a body. When all of us together are lifted, that's why Jesus came back, according to the Hindu tradition, repeatedly, starting out as Vishnu and then being Krishna and Ra and whoever else they say he was incarnated as. The fact of the matter is, whether he's incarnated once or more than once, he, even in the New Testament, prophesied he'd be coming back. So perhaps we can go ahead and surmise that he believed he would interject himself into this illusion many times. Why? To lift us out of our thought of separation, out of our fear of death, out of the belief in death, out of the belief in sickness. He interjected himself, the Course teaches us, to show us that we are not a body. We are a spirit safe in the mind of God, and we always have been. It's as if the message he was sending is this: hey, I'm not a body. I know I'm not a body. Go ahead, crucify me. Put a crown of thorns on my head. Stab me in the side. Hang me to the cross. I'll show you that I'm not really dead. I'll go ahead and look dead. And then on the third day, I'm going to resurrect, proving to you that we, who we really are, has influence on the body, because we are not a body. We are a spirit, a connected spirit, meaning we're all one in our consciousness. Now, how does that relate to the belief in death? I'm teaching this lesson right now with the intention of uploading it to YouTube, hoping it goes viral, because I want everyone to be lifted out of the belief in death. Why? I haven't been sick in many, many years. For the most part, I have gone down to emotional hell and gotten sick a few times. But for the most part, I haven't been sick in 20 years. And I want everyone to be able to walk in wholeness and wellness, not believing in death, not believing in sickness. When my sweetheart, Paul Quilter, came into my life, he even expressed to me, Janeen, why do you even believe in death? He raised my consciousness and showed me, oh my goodness, the Course does teach that we don't even have to believe in death. And in fact, sickness is a representation in this dream, or shall we call it a nightmare, this dream. Sickness is based in the belief in death. We literally do not have to go down to emotional hell and imagine our bodies dying and create that, or make it, according to ACIM terminology, A Course in Miracles terminology, make it that which God creates. A Course in Miracles calls create, because it's eternal. That which you and I make in the illusion is based in the thought of death, that it will end. So the egoic illusion believes in sacrifice, giving up things, and in fact, giving up the thought of life itself and dying. So when all of us collectively have a belief in death, we create everything that leads to death. We collectively create everything that leads to death. It is not the sick person's fault individually. We, together as a collective, inflict that illness upon them as a result of our belief in death. I choose wellness and wholeness, remembering who I really am, so that not only I myself can walk in wholeness and wellness, but so that I'm not inflicting death and sickness upon others. I don't want people around the world to be sick. I don't want my neighbors to be sick. I don't want my friends to have surgery. I want them lifted out of the belief in death, lifted into remembrance of who they really are, that the spirit they are organizes the elements and causes us to perceive that we are having this experience. I want them to be able to perceive they're having an experience of wellness, wholeness, abundance, energy, health, walking and healing and wholeness all of the time. Now, what does this mean that I, as a healer, have to do? I, as a healer, the Course says, I have to heal myself. I, myself, must choose to be lifted above the belief in death so that I'm not radiating out an energy, adding energy to the belief in sickness, making other people sick. I don't want to make you sick. So I choose to heal myself of the thought of sickness, to see you as healed, whole, and healthy, to see myself first as healed, whole, and healthy, walking in wellness, walking in abundance, walking in eternal life. That is what Jesus came to show us, that we have eternal life. We don't have to die. Jesus ascended to his light body. Many, many masters throughout the perception of time have ascended to their light body. We even have evidence that maybe some of the disciples, as recorded in the New Testament, ascended to their light body. We have the thought that Moses didn't actually die, perhaps, but was ascended. Enoch perhaps was ascended. There are many masters we see that ascended in the light body, meaning they didn't die. And then they just simply manifest whenever they want to. And why would we re-manifest into the illusion? Why would we re-manifest into this egoic illusion? Which, by the way, is the thought of reincarnation. But why would we? To be helpful. I'm only recording this message with hopes that it might influence some to rethink, oh, wow, you mean I don't have to believe in sickness? Oh, wow, you mean I don't have to believe in death? A Course in Miracles teaches us that the ego loves to trap us in the thought of sickness, to trap us in the thought of death, because then it can cause us to be the slave of thinking this is our experience. And therefore the ego keeps itself alive. But the person we really are is divine spirit. Divine spirit can't be trapped by anything. It is only the thought that we are separate, the thought of fear, the thought of guilt projected on what we perceive to be a guilty world that causes us to believe in death and that causes us to believe in sickness. I'd like to read for you a few excerpts from A Course in Miracles. First, I will read from the Manual for Teachers, which I dearly love. It's a synopsis of the Course, and I love the Manual for Teachers, so I'm going to start there. And I am reading at the Manual for Teachers, Section 5, How is Healing Accomplished? 5 and Roman numeral 1. Healing involves an understanding of what the illusion of sickness is for. Healing is impossible without this. The perceived purpose of sickness. Healing is accomplished the instant the sufferer no longer sees any value in sickness and in pain. Who would choose suffering unless he thought it brought him something, and something of value to him? He must think it is a small price to pay for something of greater worth. For sickness is an election, a decision. It is the choice of weakness. It is the mistaken conviction that it is a strength. When this occurs, real strength is seen as threat and health as danger. Sickness is a method conceived in madness for placing God's Son, which, by the way, the Course uses patriarchal terminology, but it means all of us. It means men and women. For placing God's Son on his Father's throne. The ego always tries to dethrone us, the Son of God. The ego always tries to earn what we already are. The ego always tries to earn being good enough to obtain the grace of God, when in point of actual fact, we already have it. We are that. We are safe in God. We already have it. It's a free gift. It's unearned. In fact, if you have to earn it, it's not grace. Now let me read the shift in perception. Healing must occur in exact proportion to which the valuelessness of sickness is recognized. One need but say, there is no gain at all to me in this, and he is healed. Let me repeat that so that you can hold that in your awareness as a mantra. There is no gain at all to me in this. There is no gain at all to me in this. Meaning the sickness. There is no gain at all to me in this sickness. But to say this, one first must recognize certain facts. First, it is obvious that decisions are of the mind, not of the body. And by the way, the Course makes it clear that the mind is not contained inside of the body. The mind meaning the mind of the divine mind, which is who we really are and what we are really part of. We are really that collectively. This thought of the ego is also a collective consciousness, which is why I say to everyone whom I have been a part of making sick, through my belief in death and my belief in sickness, please forgive me. Please forgive me. I choose to see you as healed, whole, healthy, powerful, not needing sickness for any reason, because you are elevated above fear. So, back to the mantra. There is no gain at all to me in this sickness. There is no gain at all to me in this sickness. There is no gain at all to me in this sickness. When you say and think that, the body will reorganize itself to follow your divine consciousness and your divinely selected will. It's amazing to realize how we are all collectively in this together, which is why the masters continue to interject themselves into the egoic illusion, because we're here only to be truly helpful. I happen to be a personal development coach and an energy medicine practitioner, among other things that I love to do, because I love having a very full life experience, including selling real estate. But I'm a personal development coach trainer, teacher, and student of A Course in Miracles, and I'm an energy medicine healer. When people come to me for healing, it is necessary, in order for me to actually heal them, I must be a healed healer myself. What does that mean? I have to be in divine mind, recognizing that they are not actually sick and that there is no death. The person they really are is not the thought of sickness. The person they really are, see them as healed, see them as well, see them as powerful. I must not go down into emotional hell and commiserate with them about their sickness. I will show empathy for a moment, because they currently believe that they are sick. They currently see themselves as sick. But if you go to a healer who is seeing you as sick, you will not be able to be healed. If you agree that you're sick, and you believe in sickness, you go to them because of their belief in wellness, seeing yourself as healed, whole, and healthy, and then joining, A Course in Miracles calls it joining with another, When we join together, the energy of that pure intent is amplified. And the amplification of that energy causes it to reverberate throughout the collective consciousness, whether it's the low vibrational consciousness, belief in sickness, or the high vibrational consciousness of divine mind, which is who we really are, and that is the eternal truth. The thought that we're sick doesn't change the truth of who we really are. The truth of who we really are, the Course teaches us, cannot be changed, no matter what weak thoughts you had for a moment, no matter what weak thoughts I had for a moment. To be true healers, we must, in fact, see ourselves and our brothers and sisters as well, whole. So if someone comes to me with the thought of a stomach cancer, it is incumbent upon me to remember that they are healed, whole, healthy, well, seeing all of the cells of their stomach as pink, happy cells, well cells. And then it will restructure itself to accommodate us. I share with you humbly that it is my choice not to be a part of exacerbating your loved ones dying, not to be a part of exacerbating your loved ones being sick. I'm sorry I was a part of the belief in sickness that made my daughter need to have. I sent out energy and amplified energy of her needing to have her gallbladder removed, of another friend having to have their gallbladder removed, of Dr. Wayne Dyer getting a cancer, of Jerry Hicks getting a cancer. We collectively created that. I forgive the illusion. I forgive myself for having believed in the illusion. Let's together heal the world and heal each other and forgive the illusion of sickness and death and separation, recognizing that collectively we are all together joining and amplifying these beliefs. Let's amplify the belief in wellness, abundance, that everyone together, we are in this together and we are all of divine oneness. Let's be healed by walking in remembrance of divine mind, being safe in God, remembering who we really are. I hope this was helpful. Please remember that all of the masters throughout time and eternity always asked the question before they ever performed any healing, which really performing a healing doesn't mean anything. All they had to do was remember who they really were and who that person really is as part of them, so that that energy match was transpiring in the divine mind. But before they would perform the healing, they always asked the question about willingness. Are you willing to be made whole? Why would they ask about willingness to be made whole? The egoic consciousness down here in this egoic illusion, this thought of separation, this thought that we are a body, that consciousness of belief in sickness is actually also carries with it the belief in having to do something and having to be responsible and having to do something. The Bible says it this way: to whom much is given, much is required. So in this egoic consciousness, to be willing to be made whole, we have to be willing to take the responsibility of what we're going to do with our wellness, with our energy, with our clarity. What are we going to do with it? How are we going to be an influence for good? How are we going to be helpful down here in this egoic illusion? So the thought, are you willing to be made whole, is necessary before you can actually be made whole. Are you willing to be made whole? Are you willing to be part of lifting and elevating others to the remembrance of who they really are? I choose to. I don't want to make any more people sick. I don't want to be part of that anymore. I want to elevate us to our wellness. Please forgive me that I used to be a part of the belief in death, that I used to be a part of the belief in sickness, that I sent out energy of believing in illness. I choose to remember our wholeness. With great love, again, I hope this was helpful. I am here only to be truly helpful. Signing off for now, Dr. Janeen Detrick. Janeen at goodvibesclinic.com is my email address. JANEEN at good vibes, as in vibrations, goodvibesclinic.com. Janeen at goodvibesclinic.com. I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions. Goodbye for now.